Carrie, do we have to approve minutes from last month?
There's
Is
never,
this a special meeting?
it's a special meeting, you can wait,
Oh, we're just gonna wait though.
that's fine. And there's never any obligation to approve minutes, so.
That's good.
I mean, we can do the minutes, it's not a big deal.
We don't have a quorum.
Then it'll just be done. We do have a quorum,
Yes, you
1,
do.
2, 3, 4. Yeah,
As long as you have 4.
they are them already.
You are live.
I want to be on the up and up. Hi, welcome. I am Shannon McHugh. I'm Chair of the Commission of the Community Relations and Human Rights Commission for the City of Oneonta. I would like to call to order this special meeting this month that we are holding to determine Trailblazer Award winners. So first things up, oh, I'm sorry, it is March 10th, 2022. First things first, we will do roll call. So Commissioner Deandra Singeti-Daniels is not here this evening, and neither is Councilmember Liaison Ms. Murphy. They are both excused. So Commissioner Franklin Chambers.
Here.
Commissioner Reverend Marty.
Here.
Commissioner, Carol is not here either. Maybe she will show up.
No, she's in Arizona.
Oh, she's in Arizona. Thank you. Commissioner Paul Conway.
Here.
Commissioner Anita Hobson-McCarr. Here. Thank you. It is so good to see all of you. Thank you for being here this evening. We have a little bit of a fiery subject with this Trailblazer Award. Some of us have different ways we'd like to see this go. But did everyone get a chance to go ahead and look over the nominations, the write-ups, who was nominated? There were 4 people we had that were nominated. Yes, everyone kind of got a chance to look at them?
Yes.
Okay. So our current nominations are for Kate Simeon. Then we have Marcella McCushie, Joyce Miller, and Noelle Clinton Yike. So before we kind of get into the gist of, well, actually, no, let's go ahead and go there. Let's go back, Paul, you were suggesting a proposal about how this award is put out. I kind of want to add a little bit to it because I kind of feel like when we have somebody who is a past commission member, it kind of makes us all like have a conflict of interest, I feel like. And I think maybe having some discretion in when we do have people who are on the commission, having maybe a separate award that's for them, specifically if they get nominated for this, or we can have the opportunity to nominate a past commission member and not necessarily need them to be nominated. We can go ahead and choose to do that as a commission. We have the right to create this dynamic. So versus like kind of having this double standard or possibility of conflict of interest when it's somebody that we just had served for us. So thoughts and feelings on that piece.
In the past, go ahead.
Just reminding you all, I think, and if I'm not mistaken, my predecessor at First United Methodist Church, Reverend Teresa Cybers, was given this award.
She
was
was.
on the commission.
She was, and we also nominated Betty Lee. She was also on the commission and did not receive the award at that time, though we felt very highly that we wanted her to be renominated and brought back. So I think even with Teresa, there was this feeling that we were kind of having this like, go ahead, Frank, I'm sorry.
My opinion is that we should not hold our members or former members, colleagues, to a different standard than anyone else within the community. I think that it may not be appropriate for a commissioner to nominate someone who recently served or is serving, but certainly if that person is nominated from within the community, that we should consider them as a candidate like we would consider any other candidate. I think that it's not in good taste to hold members to a different standard than other community members.
Most definitely. I definitely appreciate and value what you're saying. I guess maybe part of it too is me wanting to have this space so that we can recognize people that we'd like to. Especially in addition to this, having the ability to nominate people, should we not have people apply? Because we have run into this concern a couple times where, you know, we only had one person that is being nominated. And it's a very close call. So if us as a commission can kind of get together and be able to nominate people and, you know, pick people out of the community or even past nominees who maybe didn't receive the award, and open it up that way, so we're not kind of faced with not having anyone nominated.
Well, I certainly don't have a problem with commissioners nominating anyone within the community to be considered a candidate for the award. I think my only hesitation would be a commissioner nominating a former commissioner that recently left the commission.
Right.
So say, for example, Marty, this was her last year. Well, we don't have to say, for example, we have a commissioner that just recently left the commission. I don't think it would be in good taste for us to nominate her immediately, but certainly if someone within the community nominated her, I think we should consider her. I agree that there are times where we may want to recognize a commissioner, and we certainly should have the right to do so, but it may not necessarily be through the Trailblazer Award.
I concur. I feel like we should set up a whole nother, we can have this is an umbrella, we might as well, we can set up a whole nother section or award that we can go ahead and nominate, like people who have just served, and that way it doesn't have to be necessarily like a woman, it can be people who've served on the commission as well, you know what I mean?
It could just be a commendation, though.
We can do that as well.
You know, we could do an annual commendation for those members who served upon their leaving board.
Because we definitely made sure that, like when Teresa left, you know, we went to city council, we gave her an award. We made sure like she felt like respected and like we valued her, and you know, now.
That should be our standard practice then.
Right.
If
Which
we-
can be.
If we already have that precedent set, then.
I thought
we
she
should
got
do
the
it for everyone.
trailblazers. She didn't get the trailblazers?
Teresa, yes, she got. We made sure we loved her.
I know,
Missed her.
I know, but I think she got the
She did.
trailblazer award itself, and that's.
I'd like to agree with everything Frank said. I agree that we should be able to nominate somebody from the commission at some point in the future, but generally speaking, somebody who steps down to the commission, we shouldn't even imagine nominating that person to be a real conflict of interest.
Right.
So the question I think we're starting out with is, how many do we want to award this year, given what we've got? Because all the decisions we make have to pretty much be made on the basis of what's on paper, what we know about the separate candidates. They're all going to be qualified, and in the past, we've had really good people who we said we can't give them an award this year and hope they come back next year.
Right, and then they don't.
So, yeah, I'm really hoping we limit it to 2 or 3, and it's easy for me to make 3 choices, but I can easily limit myself to 2 if I have to.
Right. So typically, the award has 2 over the age of 25 that win, and then 2 under the age of 25.
So everything I've said is for one category. Okay?
Right. So I guess my feeling, you know, Paul, like we were discussing, is if we were going to have 4 winners, regardless of their age, like what is it? If we don't have any nominees for under 25, what's wrong with allowing for the other people nominated to take up those spaces?
It's changing a norm that's pretty long established, I think, and I
But
think it's
that
getting
doesn't
away from
change.
making tough choices that are reasonable for us to make. I mean, the norm is clearly, we've never had more than 2 from one category ever, if you look at these numbers.
Well, mostly we weren't getting more than 1 or none.
Sure.
So it's not like now that we're, okay.
Can I ask a
Go
question?
ahead.
What is the advertisement, like, how are we getting the message out to get nominations in? Because as a community member, I heard about it from being on the commission, like, it's not anywhere, like,
So it was published in the newspapers, it was put over social media. We have it on the commission's Facebook page, the city has it on their Facebook page. Commission members have been spreading it, it was on the radio. There was, Carrie, please help me.
That's about it.
Yeah. The high schools, all got tapped with, because we were trying to get, people under 25. It's particularly tough because we did have a pretty long application or nomination form in the past. So we spent a lot of time cutting that back, cutting that down and making it more streamlined. And so the past like year or two, we've been really focusing on making sure people know it's a more streamlined application. This is a much easier thing to do now to nominate someone than in the past.
okay.
So,
Is there a way, like, when there are events like the farmer's market downtown on Saturday, is there a way for us to set up a table?
we do that, yeah. Yeah. We-
Okay.
Yeah, it's stuff that, because of COVID, unfortunately, we've been unable to do.
Right, okay,
But we have done from the tables.
okay.
But I think, so if did you have more? I'm sorry.
I had that.
I don't remember.
No, it's okay.
Frank, how do you feel about having 4 like winners regardless of age?
I don't have a problem with it as an anomaly. I agree with Paul that we should not make this a habit, but certainly this year is different than in years past. And we didn't award anyone last year as a result of COVID, and I don't think we awarded anyone the year prior to that.
We ended up having, the 2-year prior winners, because of COVID, ended up having to come to City Hall to receive. We were supposed to have it at the baseball park. It didn't end up happening. We ended up having to do it here at City Hall.
So again, I don't have a problem with us, doing so this year. But I think if we do decide that we should actually have a recommendation to waive the requirements for this year and resume the requirements in preceding years.
Well, and that would give us an opportunity to really codify what these kind of strictures are. I did check with Carrie beforehand, because I was going to nominate Joyce Miller myself, and I believe it was you, Carrie, who said that was definitely conflict of interest,
It
because I'm the
seemed
commissioner.
very much like a conflict
So I
because
didn't do it.
the commission that's making the decision on the winner.
Yeah, so that's why I recruited some other people to nominate her. That's why I reached out to
Right.
Tricia Leonard, and my name never appears on the application.
Right. So this whole conflict of interest stuff is tough.
It is, but we need to get it all in writing before we ever even start the process next year, so everybody's clear.
Right.
I agree.
You know, so we all laid out the rules like next fall before we even start talking about it for next year. So I feel like since we didn't do that this year, that we should award all 4. That's what I feel. But maybe and then next year we'll make it a little tighter.
Right.
Well, you don't think there's any distinction between the nominees in terms of,
I was just gonna ask, because they're very different.
Mm.
They're extremely different. So for me, that was like a big part of it. Like, there's, how do we compare any of them to each other? They're in totally different spaces, doing totally different things and advocating for our community in completely different ways.
well, I'll tell you, I could make a distinction with the one that is a relatively younger person who's a great graduate student, did great research, curating a project, and I looked it up. It's really impressive, it's terrific. She's very deserving, very qualified. Yet, I think, since she just got into town a year and a half or two ago, and she's really not made these contributions to the community yet. I think we could let her wait a year, and I feel very comfortable about that. I have trouble with the other three. They're all super candidates.
I concur, actually.
Shannon, should we not solidify whether or not we're going to nominate more than, or we're going to adjudicate more than one before discussing them? Because we're discussing, and Paul has already eliminated one of the candidates.
Right.
And we've not, in his mind.
Right.
But he's already eliminated one.
Right.
So, are we gonna do 4, are we gonna do 2?
I feel, yes, Franklin, I definitely feel you. So, I guess we would have to vote on what people are comfortable with. And, you know, so, because we have quorum, we might as well. So, up for vote is going to be whether or not people would like to have 4 recipients this year, since we had 0 under 25 apply, and typically we take 4 anyway. So, I'm going to put it to Paul first.
Okay, I think it's relevant.
Wait.
I just have to do a yes, no.
You need a motion first, so what
Oh,
are you
I'm sorry.
actually motioning?
I move that we have 4 candidates be considered to receive the Trailblazer Award this year, regardless of age.
All of those, we need a second.
Second.
Already seconds. So all those in favor of Franklin's motion to have 4 recipients regardless of age for this year, as we work on the bones of what this award is gonna look like for next year, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
I abstain on this one. I think it's irrelevant that we consider the other category. They're all over 25, and I don't think we should change the number we're considering in this over 25 category. So I'm fine. I'll abstain.
Okay, Paul's gonna abstain. So with this, there'll be no need to vote on people.
I would make it formal and indicate that you're approving all applications
Oh.
and awarding. That way there's a formal action indicating.
All right, I move that all 4 of our people who were nominated receive this Women's Trailblazer Award this year. And the second part of my motion is that we internally decide on parameters for how people will be, who can be nominated by us, and how to recognize former commissioners in the future by next fall. Does that make sense? I should write that down because I'm taking notes.
Can I offer a friendly amendment?
Please.
Can you separate those into 2
Yes.
different motions?
Okay, the first motion is that all 4 be awarded the Women's Trailblazer Award this year.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All opposed?
Now, can you offer your second amendment? Your second motion?
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Why don't you say it then, please?
I move that we have internal discussions regarding the requirements for nomination of candidates for the Women's Trailblazer Award to include codified language relative to eligibility of current commission members and immediate past commission members.
You need,
I'm not sure I get it, Frank. Could you repeat that or just rephrase it?
That we come up with a structure that is clear relative to who is eligible to receive the award, especially in relation to current members of the commission and immediate past members of the commission.
Thanks.
so we need a second.
Second.
Second? Marty seconds.
See second.
I
Oh,
second.
Paul second, okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, it is passed.
So Shannon, I think we should probably have a meeting dedicated specifically to the Trailblazer discussion. And-
Absolutely.
And that way we could develop standard criteria and address those concerns that people have relative to conflicts of interest.
Absolutely, so that would be some, good space for us, so Paul, Marty, myself, everybody can go back and kind of think about how they'd like for this to look for next year. Because really, this is malleable, this is something that we can go ahead and choose what's gonna happen next. The whole point is to enhance it, make it better, make it more welcome,
Sure.
just like we did with the number of the application, it was so long, we had to put so much work into it, we shifted, great, let's keep doing that. Let's shift how this looks and, for the future, and make it I think, more available to people.
And I don't think that it's going to be a difficult conversation in all honesty. I think we all have, based on the discussions today, we all can agree that a current member should not be nominated by another current member.
Right.
An immediate past member should not be nominated by a current member, but certainly if they're nominated by the community, then they should be considered like anyone else.
Right, so then what's the timeline on that? Are we 5 years, that they haven't been on the committee, that a commission member can?
We can talk about that in the future.
Yeah, I'd say
That'll be part of the
part of
discussion.
this discussion, but
Right. Who was it who seconded my notion to ward all four?
I did.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, Frank seconded your motion, the first motion,
I seconded your motion.
We have motions here.
And Paul seconded my motion.
oh boy.
So, moving forward, so the ceremony will be on March 31st. Did everyone get that information? It will be 6 to 8 at Foothills. Foothills is partnering us, they're being extremely wonderful. We will have, alcohol will be available, what is it, cash bar? No, it's where they go in, you have to show your ID to them, and they take the money from you.
Cash bar, but all handled by Foothills.
Right, so-
Independent of the city of.
Right, all those things are handled by Foothills, nothing to do with the city of Oneonta. We do, if we can get, people to donate food, finger food, stuff like that, that'd be really wonderful. If anybody has any connections or wants to reach out.
I think Deandra sort of said she'd be happy to help find that. She's really good at getting those
Right.
kind of donations. I could be wrong, but.
Who did you say, Marty?
Deandra, she loves to do that kind of thing. She's really good at it. Nobody can say no to her. She's good at sweet talking.
Right now, the setup kind of for Foothills is gonna be, there's gonna be tables and chairs, then there's gonna be some high top tables with, stools. So there's gonna be a nice little mix of seating for people. There is a projector available. So if we have, pictures we wanna put up, or we want to get pictures from the people who have been awarded, or from the people who nominated them that they might have, we're gonna have to, I'll play around with that a little bit.
Have to ask him pretty soon.
We could have them playing in the background.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Jeff is really awesome.
I
He
think
offers
that's a
so
good
much.
idea.
But we're gonna notify them very soon, so they have time.
Right, we're gonna notify them, because this is very close.
Is that something that you do, Sharon?
Yes, I will be notifying, the winners, all the winners, and all of the people who nominated, so they know that. the
Maybe
person
asking
was-
them for some pictures, maybe?
Yes, I will be asking for pictures.
Like,
I guess my only thing, I had it listed, I've posted on Eventbrite and on Facebook. So far, not that many tickets have been reserved. Right now, Jeff and I talked about it and did a ticket system to get an idea of how many people.
okay.
It's just because it's our first time not at City Hall and it being a completely separate event from council meeting, we have no idea who's gonna be there.
Is it on the commission page? Because I can grab it and share it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know, so, and Foothills has it like in their calendar of events, like on their page and on their stuff, so. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, we're gonna see, but this is our first time, so we're gonna learn, we're gonna grow. Foothills wants us to be long-term, like buddying up, pairing up, and utilizing their space, so.
The tickets are free, but you still want reservations.
Tickets are free. It's just nice to get an idea so we have like enough chairs or there's enough people there to work bar or like people there, you know, who are with, like for them having enough employees available, right? So it's.
Well, my experience with these, I'm on the New York State Council of Churches, and we do an award ceremony every year. And my experience is that most of the attendees are relatives or friends of the awardees.
Right.
So that's why you haven't gotten very many
Right.
reservations yet, because the awardees don't know yet that they've been awarded. So once they know, well, they're gonna say to all their friends and relatives, please sign up for a ticket. Then you're gonna get a lot of tickets. That's my experience.
Right. It's just good to have like that gauge.
Sure.
Typically we're like, hey, just show up. But since it's at Foothills, we'd like to have an idea. I think I said under 100 for right now. We've never been over, I wanna say, we've crammed quite a few people into City Hall before. Not over like 45 or 50.
Yeah, I would anticipate each winner would probably have 4 guests,
At least.
you know, at least.
Yeah.
So, like Marty said, that you'll get the numbers once people have been notified that they won.
Okay.
Well, you might not have to take my minutes. It
No.
sounds like it's gonna be a short.
I'm gonna move for adjournment.
Oh yeah? Thanks for.
That's funny. So,
Okay, Giselle.
how did we leave it about the finger foods?
You know, we're open to the finger foods, the only thing is, like, we can't cook it at our house, it's gotta be from an establishment, or from a Crate Shopper, or like a platter, but I can't, just, like, legal wise, health wise, health department wise, for the Foothills, we can't have, like, made it in our kitchen.
No.
If you draft a letter of request, I could forward it to Sodexo on campus,
Ooh,
our food service provider, and see if they would be
There
able
we
to
go.
donate.
now we're talking, frankly.
Yeah, their office is right next door to me, so.
There you go. Sounds like a party.
Do you need anything like, for me to be super official, like, what?
Just, you know, coming from the chair on letterhead.
Okay, I don't have letterhead.
You do.
I have letterhead?
I got you.
I have letterhead. It's awesome. I have letterhead. I have letterhead, Frank.
Yeah, so, like I said, I can facilitate it. I can't make guarantees, but
That's great. I'm just open,
I do know
so.
the director and I'll reach out to
Sounds
him.
lovely.
And we're not talking about a lot of people, so.
No,
That's
great.
That'd be amazing.
Terrific.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's done. Anything good anything for the good of us? Oh, since we're here, we might as well approve these minutes.
Oh,
Did everyone get a chance to look at or December's minutes? Wait, December? Wait, it should be January.
next meeting looks good. What happened in February?
Okay, we'll wait. We'll do it next meeting. Thank you all for being here.
Okay,
If there's nothing further, we'll move ahead and we'll get into this. And we will work on shifting this for next year and making this how we would like to see this for next year. Okay, so. Thank you all. I will adjourn the meeting.
You have to have a motion for that.